Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a review on this Anker USB-C charger, model number 735. This is their 65 watt, 3-port fast charging wall charger. So I've got an iPhone, I've got a Samsung phone, I got a MacBook Air. I'm going to show you how it's going to charge all of those. But first, let's look at the product. It's very nice. It's got this little sticker on it that says the USB-C ports support dynamic power distribution. So you want to make sure and take this little sticker off before you start using it. There, you've got 2 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A. These fold down. It's really nice. It feels really nice. So the bottom of the charger has a bunch of writing on it. Input power is 100 to 240 volts, 50 to 60 hertz. It does take up to 1 amp to power it. So it's got these different voltages and wattages if you're using 1 port, 2 ports, or 3 ports. But the total output will never exceed 65 watts. So if you're just using one of the USB-C ports, it's capable of putting out 5 volts 3 amps, 9 volts 3 amps, 15 volts 3 amps, 20 volts 3.25 amps, which is 65 watts. Now the USB-A, which is that bigger port, which we only have one, it's capable of outputting 4.5 volts to 5 at 5 amps, 5 volts at 4.5 amps, 5 volts at 3 amps, 9 volts at 2 amps, or 12 volts at 1.5 amps. Its maximum power output is 22.5 watts. So you can only get the true 65 watts out of the USB-C ports, 22.5 watts out of the USB-A port. And I can't get 65 watts out of both ports at the same time. I can get 65 watts out of either port, but only being used at one at a time. So it does come with this little suction cup device. This is made very well. This is for holding it into an outlet. So I could see where it might want to come out a little bit. I mean, it's heavy and bulky, but not too bad. But this is made very nice. There's suction cups on there that really suction cup down. It's kind of a hard rubber, but you're going to slide it in there. And then you're going to plug this into a wall outlet. Okay, so here I've got like a standard wall outlet plugged in. You know, it doesn't want to fall out. I could see if you had a bunch of things plugged into it, it might want to come out a little bit. Okay, so now I got that adapter on. Let's try that adapter. And then you're going to push that adapter around. That kind of suction cups onto that. Yeah, it does make it a lot more stable. That's kind of a neat thing. So when it's suction cupped on there, taking it off, yeah, you can feel those suction cups. Okay, so I've got a MacBook Air. It's got an M1 chip in it. Let's go ahead and try it on one of the ports. Again, either port I can plug it into. And if I look under system information, it's charging at 65 watts. So in order to charge your MacBook Air, your MacBook Pro at the full 65 watts, you can only have one thing charged into it. So here I've got my Klein tools. It's a USB-C inline voltage and amperage reader. So right now it's reading 19.7 volts at 2.31 amps. Okay, so now I can use this also to charge my iPhone 13. Now the voltage is going to ramp up. It will fast charge my iPhone. And the voltage looks like it's 8.9 volts, almost 9 volts at 2.67 amps. So what's really nice about this, it's got 3 ports. I'm going to be charging something with all 3 ports and show you how it does. So here, out of the USB-A port, I've got kind of a lower, doesn't require much current. This is the Apple AirPods Pro. I'm also charging the iPhone out of one of the USB-C ports, and that's what I'm going to show you the voltage here. And then I'm also charging my MacBook Air out of another USB-C port. So the iPhone, it did bump down a little bit. It's down to 5 volts, 2.57 amps. So that's a little over, that's almost 11, 12 watts. An iPhone, to fast charge an iPhone, it has to be at 20 watts. And as you can see, the MacBook Air, it went down to 41 watts. So when you only have one thing plugged in there, it was at 65, now it's at 41. Which is still pretty fast, but I'm doing a lot. I'm charging my earbuds, I'm charging my iPhone and a MacBook Air. So that's kind of a lot to expect out of this, but it's doing a pretty good job at it. So with it charging all 3 of these ports, you know, it does get just a little bit warm. It's not very hot at all, but I can definitely feel it got a little warm. It's just a very versatile charger. I hope the video helps. Thanks everybody for watching.